She bent over the table to grab her purse, no panties, no shame. Just bare skin flashing beneath that tight red dress. At a packed downtown steakhouse. With her friend Matt smirking across from her. I sat 3 booths back, rage curdling in my gut. That the ***ch thought I wouldn't find out. She said it was just dinner. A casual catch-up with an old friend from college. Matt's in town for one night, she told me, sliding her earrings in without looking up. It'd be rude not to see him. What she didn't know was that I had followed her. Not out of paranoia, not at first. But something had shifted. She'd started wearing perfume again, even on days she worked from home. Her phone never left her side. And last week, I caught her Googling best lingerie for tight dresses. She claimed it was for me. She lied. That night, I parked 2 blocks from Prime and Barrel, the sleek new steakhouse downtown. She'd left in an Uber, dressed like she was headed to a club, not a reunion. Her red dress hugged her body like plastic wrap. And her heels, 5 inches, black, glossy, weren't made for casual. Inside, I sat 3 booths behind her. Dark wood paneling, low lights, white napkins folded like origami. She and Matt laughed too loud for strangers. He leaned in like he'd earned her secrets. She touched his wrist like she forgot she had a husband. Then she stood. Bent to grab her purse from the floor. The hem rose. No panties. No hesitation. Just skin. She didn't flinch, didn't fix her dress. She knew. And so did he. Matt didn't even blink. Just smiled into his wine like this was planned. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I watched. That moment, that quiet flash of confirmation, did more damage than any sex tape ever could. You see, betrayal doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just winks at you from across a linen-covered table. Back home, I waited. I left before they did, careful not to be seen. I didn't rage. I didn't cry. I just sat at the kitchen counter, staring at the bowl of fruit she'd arranged that morning. Apples. Bananas. One perfectly ripe pear. She got in at midnight. Said nothing. Kissed my cheek like nothing was different. Like she didn't just let another man see her bare under candlelight. You still up? She asked, kicking off her heels. Couldn't sleep. She poured a glass of water. Sipped. Turned her back. I stared at the red crease pressed into her skin from the dress strap. Not a single wrinkle in the fabric. That meant she hadn't been sitting long. Did you have fun? I asked. She nodded, casual. Matt's hilarious. We always had the same sense of humor. I didn't answer. She leaned on the counter, too relaxed. You okay? I nodded. Yeah. Just tired. Want me to make tea? No need. She smiled, but her eyes scanned me too long. She was checking for something. A crack. A suspicion. But I gave her nothing. Let her think she got away with it. Because the worst thing you can do to a liar is let them keep lying. Let them think the mask still holds. While underneath, you're planning the teardown. And I was. This was no longer about saving our marriage. That night, I buried the men who wanted that. What walked into our bedroom was someone colder. Someone patient. Let her flirt with fire. She didn't know I was already striking matches. The next morning, she hummed while making eggs. Scrambled, slightly runny, just how I liked them. She even cut strawberries into heart shapes like it was Valentine's Day and not the day after she exposed herself to another man over filet mignon. Sleep okay? She asked, sliding the plate in front of me. I nodded. Chewed slowly. Swallowed hard. She took a seat across from me, scrolling her phone like nothing mattered. Like she wasn't a toxic snake hiding behind a perfect blowout and a gold wedding band. Matt texted her. I heard the buzz, twice. She flipped the phone face down. My fork clinked against the plate. She looked up, all innocence. Something wrong? I shrugged. Hot coffee. Burned my tongue. Want me to get you ice? I shook my head. She smiled like she won something. Melanie used to be subtle. Once. She used to pretend. Hide things under guilt or silence. But now. She was getting sloppy. Or bold. Maybe both. I decided to test her. That afternoon, I asked if she wanted to go to dinner. Just the two of us. Her expression twitched, barely, but it was there. Like a reflex she didn't control. I promised my sister I'd help her with something, she said, standing by the window. It's been on the calendar all week. I nodded. Must have forgotten. She texted someone as she spoke. I could see the reflection in the glass. Her thumbs moved faster than the lie in her throat. Maybe tomorrow night, she offered. Sure. I waited an hour. Then checked the calendar. Blank. Her sister was in Vermont with her fiancé. I knew because I'd sent them a wedding gift last week. That night, I sat alone at the bar near the house. Watched the door. Waited. She never walked in. When she got home, 11:48 p.m., her lipstick was gone, but her eyes were glassy. The same shine she had after our honeymoon dinners in Greece. Back when she looked at me like I was gravity. Now, she looked through me. Your sister okay? I asked, voice flat. Yeah, just needed help setting up some stuff. What kind of stuff? She hesitated. Just half a breath. Furniture. For the nursery. They weren't pregnant. But I didn't flinch. Didn't blink. She was watching me now. Carefully. Like a hunter unsure if they'd been spotted. I looked down, sipped my beer. That's nice of you. She nodded, slowly. She's really grateful. I'm sure. Silence ballooned between us. Tense. Fake. She broke it with a yawn. I'm beat. Shower and bed. Go ahead. She walked away. I heard her heels echo down the hall. Then the bathroom door clicked shut. I walked into her closet. Quietly. I didn't touch anything. Just looked. Her red dress, the one from last night, was gone. Not in the hamper. Not hanging. Vanished. I checked her gym bag. Still in the corner. Shoes. Leggings. A second phone. Burner. Cheap. No passcode. Messages deleted, mostly. But one remained. From Matt, still thinking about last night. That little surprise under the table. You're unreal. No reply. Just that one, dangling thread. I snapped a photo with my own phone. No rage. No confrontation. Just evidence. Truth. Because I wasn't going to stop her. I was going to let her sprint straight into her own trap. And when it snapped shut, she'd hear the click from miles away. That bitch thought she was playing a game. But I was building the board. The thing about liars. They forget the details. 3 days later, Melanie told me she was working late. A client issue. Bank's in audit mode, she muttered, tugging at her blazer like it was choking her. Probably won't be home until after 8. She left at 6:12 p.m. I waited 10 minutes, then followed. She didn't go to the bank. She didn't even go downtown. She drove to a suburban strip mall. Parked behind a wine bar. Got out, checked her makeup in the side mirror. No blazer. Just a silk blouse, unbuttoned too far, and heels that had no place in a cubicle. Matt pulled in 7 minutes later. They didn't kiss. Didn't need to. They walked side by side like people who'd done it 100 times. Like the rhythm of cheating had become a second language. I didn't follow them inside. I wasn't after photos, not yet. I wanted something worse. Patterns. Repetition. Routine. Back home, I started keeping notes. Every work dinner, every sister emergency, every vague excuse she handed me like expired candy. I wrote it all down. Dates, times, locations. Cross-checked with her sister's Instagram. With her office hours. With the call log from the burner phone I'd cloned. She thought she was operating in the shadows. But she was walking through floodlights. And me? I was patient. I'd learned to be. Years in the ER taught me how to wait. To listen. To let people bleed out their lies until there was nothing left but the truth. At home, she played house. Made pasta. Watched crime dramas. Asked me if I wanted kids soonish. I watched her fork spin noodles. Not sure anymore. She blinked. Really? I nodded. Timing feels off. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. We'll figure it out. Sure. She kissed my cheek after dinner. Said she was going to read. I followed her 5 minutes later. She wasn't reading. She was texting. Not on her main phone. On the burner, now hidden inside an old purse at the back of the closet. I stood in the hallway, silent. Heard the screen clicks, soft and quick. Then nothing. Next day, I made my move. I told her I might be taking a job offer in Rochester. A promotion. A chance to run trauma operations. Total fiction, but just close enough to be possible. She looked up from her cereal. You'd move. It's 6 figures more. Could fast-track everything. And leave Albany. Temporarily. A year, maybe 2. Her jaw tightened. What about us? I'd want you with me. Silence. Then a fake smile. Of course. But I saw the flicker in her eyes. Not fear of distance, fear of losing the lie. Matt was here. Comfortable. Convenient. She couldn't relocate her affair. And she knew if she said no too fast, I'd question it. So she said what liars always say when cornered, let's talk about it. I nodded. Soon. But I didn't need a conversation. I already had what I needed. The pattern was clear. The lies were consistent. And most of all, the bitch had no idea I was mapping every crack in her story. The next echo came on a Tuesday. She wore the same perfume she used on our anniversary, jasmine, vanilla, something expensive I never could pronounce. She only wore it twice a year. That night, she sprayed it like holy water before stepping out the door. Team dinner, she said. New branch managers in town. I didn't ask which restaurant. I just nodded. Let her think I was tired. Distracted. Safe. But the jasmine lingered. Too thick. Too deliberate. Like she wanted someone to notice. And I knew damn well it wasn't me. I waited until her Uber ping delivered. Then I left. She wasn't at a restaurant. She wasn't anywhere near her bank team. She was 2 floors above a jazz lounge, in a boutique hotel known for one thing, discretion. No keycard elevators. No ID needed for guests. Just cash, charm, and silence. I watched her through glass from the parking deck across the street. She stood in the window, phone in one hand, wine in the other. Talking to someone I couldn't see. But her body language said everything, loose shoulders, half smile, hair tucked back like it used to be for me. A shadow passed behind her. Taller. Male. He wrapped his arms around her. She didn't flinch. She leaned in. That was the first time I felt it, not just anger or betrayal, but embarrassment. Like I'd been played in public. Like my entire marriage was a long con and I'd been the willing idiot. I didn't move. Just stared. Cold. Quiet. Watching the woman I once swore to protect melt into someone else's chest. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch with my laptop and opened a new document, exit plan. No screaming. No guilt trips. Just logistics. Cold math. Bank accounts. Joint credit cards. The lease. Her car. Her work schedule. Legal grounds. Proof. I called a divorce lawyer the next day. Quietly. Told them I was gathering data. They told me to wait, not to confront her. Get everything, the lawyer said. Then bury her in facts. So I did. I installed screen mirroring software on the laptop she rarely used. The one she logged into when she worked from home. Within 3 days, I had messages, emails, calendar invites she thought were deleted. She wasn't even cautious anymore. She planned a weekend in Lake George with Matt. Booked it under her maiden name. The subject line: finally alone. She was unraveling. And she didn't see it. She thought I was still asleep at the wheel, still too worn out to notice her late-night showers and soft giggles in the other room. She'd touch my shoulder in passing, like a nurse checking a corpse for warmth. No love. No intimacy. Just routine. I let her. Because the more she lied, the more careless she got. And the more careless she got, the deeper the trap snapped. The final detail came that Sunday. She left her work phone unlocked while in the shower. A text from Matt flashed across the screen. Wear that same dress from Tuesday. No panties this time. Like before. Like before. So it wasn't an accident. Not some moment of impulse. Not a heat-of-the-moment flirt. She'd done it more than once. The bitch had been walking into restaurants half-naked for another man while I sat home budgeting for a house. I took a screenshot. Saved it to 3 drives. Then I backed up everything: messages, GPS logs, hotel receipts. By the time she stepped out of the shower, towel tucked just low enough to bait a look, I had already begun step 2. Reverse triangulation. Her friends. Her circle. Her sister. Even her manager. I started finding out who knew. And who said nothing. Because betrayal like this, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. And someone, maybe more than one, had let her keep her secret. But secrets rot. And I was done letting the smell linger. The moment came quieter than I expected. Monday morning. She was in the kitchen, feeding our golden doodle slices of banana. Wearing that same gray robe she always tied too tight, like she was still pretending to be modest. Like the fabric made her decent. Her phone buzzed twice. She didn't move to check it. That was the tell. When a message doesn't excite them anymore, it's not new. It's routine. I already knew who it was from. I'd installed tracking software on her second phone and keylogged her main. Her cloud synced with a hidden folder on my drive. Every message, every photo, every deleted draft, copied, filed, time-stamped. I'd watched the slow decline of their texts. At first, it was graphic. Lusty. But lately, it was plans. Logistics. Frustration. She wanted Matt to leave his wife. He didn't want to burn his life down. She called it stuck. I called it evidence. She showered. I slipped into her home office and opened her laptop. She never logged out of Gmail, too lazy, too sure of herself. There it was. An email to her best friend, Shelby. Subject line: if he ever finds out. I clicked it open. If Don ever finds out about Matt, I'll say it was just emotional. That I was lonely because of his job. That I tried to end it, but Matt wouldn't let go. I'll cry during therapy and make it look like I was manipulated. Don't worry, I'll make it believable. He always wanted to be the fixer. She'd already written the script. Cast herself as the victim. Me as the emotionally unavailable husband. The overworked doctor who left her, starved for affection. I stared at that line for a long time. I'll cry during therapy. It wasn't just betrayal. It was premeditated gaslight. A full PR campaign. And Shelby? She replied. Smart. But don't push it too far. If he flips, he could take everything. So Shelby knew. Had known for months. Had helped her draft the lie. That was the second betrayal. The third came that afternoon. I contacted Matt's wife from an anonymous email. Subject: thought you should know. Attached: 6 photos, 1 screen recording, and a PDF of hotel receipts billed to a corporate card. No message. Just proof. By evening, the fallout had begun. Melanie paced the living room, snapping at her phone. Her voice low, sharp, anxious. I caught only fragments. Idiot using company card. Why would she open it? Don't message me right now, Jesus, Matt. I didn't interrupt. I didn't ask. I just poured a drink and watched the panic snake up her spine. She noticed me eventually. Tried to smile. Crazy day, she said. I raised my glass. Mondays. She studied me. You okay? I'm good. She tilted her head. You seem off. I smiled back. Just thinking. She didn't press. That's the thing about liars, they get nervous around silence. It makes them look inward. By midnight, Matt had blocked her. I saw the notification on the cloned device. She threw her phone across the room, screen cracking against the wall. Then the tears came. But they weren't guilt. They weren't sorrow. They were loss. She hadn't just cheated. She'd invested. Imagined a life with that bastard. And now he was gone. I sat on the bed, back turned to her sobs, scrolling through divorce templates. Custody wasn't an issue, no kids. The apartment lease was in my name. 90% of our assets were traceable to my income. She didn't know it yet, but she was already standing on a trapdoor. She just hadn't heard the latch click. The day after Matt ghosted her, Melanie called in sick. She wore pajamas until noon, hair twisted in a half-hearted bun, mascara smudged under both eyes. She scrolled her phone in silence, waiting for a message that never came. Every now and then, she'd type something, then delete. Start again. Delete. I watched without watching. She wasn't mourning a man. She was mourning leverage. Her golden exit. The fantasy of trading one life for another. By 3 p.m., she showered. By 4, she was on the couch beside me, legs tucked under her like we were still something real. I've been thinking, she said. I muted the TV. About us, she added, eyes darting toward mine, then away. How disconnected we've been lately. I let the silence stretch. She reached out, touched my arm. I don't want to lose what we have. What do we have? I asked. Come. Flat. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. Then, history. A foundation. I stared at her hand. Still resting on me like a prop. She shifted. I think we should try couples therapy. I already looked into a few. I nearly laughed. She was reaching for the script she wrote in that email to Shelby. Playing her part. Sure, I said. We can do that. Her eyes lit up, too quick. Really? I nodded. If it helps. She relaxed. Leaned in. Thank you. I kissed her forehead. Let me know what days work best. She smiled like she'd won something. That weekend, she booked the first session. A Thursday afternoon. I agreed. Let her believe she was steering us back from the brink. I called the lawyer that same night. Told him we were ready. I gathered the documents. The apartment lease. My bank statements. The prenup she signed in a rush 4 years ago, back when she thought love meant never needing lawyers. And every piece of digital proof I'd collected, all printed, watermarked, sealed. Then I did something I'd been planning for weeks. I created a new account. Sent her every file. Every screenshot. Every text, photo, receipt, and message. All time-stamped. Labeled. Neatly arranged. Subject, this is everything. I scheduled it to send exactly 5 minutes after our first therapy session began. Let her walk in thinking she had the upper hand. Let her open her inbox and feel the floor drop. I'd spoken to the therapist ahead of time, made sure the office was neutral. I wanted it to be public, but private. Contained. No place to run. Thursday came. She wore blush. Mascara cleaned up. Tried to look like the woman I married. We sat side by side in the waiting room. She scrolled her phone nervously. Then it hit. I watched her thumb hover over the screen. Her eyes locked. Then widened. She blinked. Scrolled. Blinked again. Her breath caught. You okay? I asked, voice smooth. She looked at me, pale. Lips twitching. What is this? What's what? This email. You sent this? I did. Her voice cracked. You've been spying on me? No. I've been documenting. She stood. This isn't fair, this is manipulative. I stood too. So is flashing your crotch at dinner with your boyfriend. The therapist called us in. She didn't move. I walked into the room alone. 10 minutes later, she followed. Shaking. The therapist asked if we were ready to begin. I answered first, actually, I just needed her to open the email. Melanie sat down, silent now. Cold. Like a chess piece flipped off the board. That session wasn't for repair. It was for exposure. Let her cry. Let her plead. Let her spin it however she wanted. I wasn't looking for closure. I was setting the stage for the execution. I filed for divorce the next morning. Served at her office. Not home. Not private. Not kind. Her name echoed through the glass walls of her bank branch like a slap. Melanie Taft, summoned to the lobby, stilettos clacking over tile like a countdown. She walked out expecting a client. Instead, a courier handed her a manila envelope. No words. Just a nod and exit. Inside, the petition, the proof, and the line that mattered most, irreconcilable differences due to adultery, documented and verified. Her co-workers didn't ask questions. They didn't have to. The color drained from her face told them everything. Back home, she burst in like a storm. Threw her purse across the floor. You humiliated me, she screamed. I sipped my coffee. You had me served at work. You lied at home. She shook her head, wild. This is insane. We can fix this. We can go to therapy. We did. You brought a mask. I brought the truth. She opened her mouth again. But I cut her off. And Shelby. She's next. What? I stood. Walked to the counter. Picked up a small stack of envelopes. Printed copies of your email to her. One for HR. One for her fiancé. One for her church women's group. You're bluffing. I smiled. I mailed them yesterday. She stumbled back like I'd hit her. You're destroying people's lives. No, Melanie. You did. I'm just removing the camouflage. She started crying. Not sobbing, that manipulative, sputtering cry that's half acting, half desperation. Like if she could just squeeze a tear out fast enough, everything would rewind. But it didn't move me. It didn't change the facts. You think you're some hero in this, she said. Some righteous avenger? No. Just a man who finally stopped accepting disrespect. She backed against the wall. I lost everything because of you. No, I corrected, you lost everything because of Matt. Because of yourself. She tried to pivot. He manipulated me. I've read your messages. You manipulated him. Pushed him to leave his wife. Offered him a future. You weren't seduced. You were strategizing. Silence. You were investing. More silence. I never even slept with him, she whispered. That's your defense. No panties. Hotel rooms. Hidden phones. But you want to argue semantics. I was lonely, she tried. You were always gone. Always tired. And you were always available. For someone else. She slid to the floor, back against the cabinet. I walked into the bedroom. Grabbed the suitcase I'd packed days ago. Took only what was mine, the rest, she could rot with. As I rolled it past her, she looked up. Don't leave. I already did. She reached out. I stepped around her. The door clicked behind me. Quiet. Final. I didn't slam it. Didn't yell. Just walked out of the house like I should have months ago. Into silence. Into clarity. But it wasn't over yet. Matt's wife had replied. Her email was short. He's finished. And yours will be too. Give me a day. One more strike left. Melanie thought this was rock bottom. She hadn't seen the drop yet. The final blow came the following Friday. I was already gone, staying at a friend's condo across town. Clean place. Quiet. No trace of her perfume in the sheets. No click of heels echoing down the hall. Melanie had stopped texting by then. 3 days of silence. She must have realized begging wouldn't work. Her guilt campaign had fizzled, and the damage was already snowballing. Matt's wife, Jenna, had moved fast. She didn't just confront him, she detonated his life. Turns out, Matt's company was a fragile shell held together by brand deals, contractor favors, and Jenna's father's money. All of it depended on one thing, the appearance of stability. When she went public, she didn't go soft. A single Facebook post with screenshots. No names, just initials. No threats. Just facts. Enough to get people talking. Then she made it worse, she forwarded the proof to his top 2 clients, both of whom had family values proudly displayed in their mission statements. Matt was dropped within 24 hours. Bank accounts frozen. Contracts terminated. Jenna filed a restraining order the same day. He tried to reach out to Melanie, desperate now. I watched the texts pour in on the mirrored backup. They're ruining me. You have to talk to her. Fix this. Please, Mel. I need you. She didn't answer. The power flipped fast. And just like that, the men who used to pull her in by the waist in dark hotel lobbies now sat somewhere in a rented room, watching his empire rot from the inside. Melanie called me that night. I let it ring 5 times. Picked up. She didn't speak at first. Then, just. Did you plan this? With her? I gave her what she needed. Her voice cracked. She destroyed him. No. You did. Long pause. I never meant for it to go this far. It always goes this far when you start it. She took a shaky breath. I don't know what to do. Start over. Silence. Then, cold and bitter, you think you're the better person here. I didn't flinch. No. Just the cleaner one. I hung up. That weekend, her manager at the bank suggested a leave of absence. Not because of the affair, that wasn't public. But because her focus was clearly compromised. Shelby, her confidant, had gone silent. Word spread. Nobody wants to be friends with the woman who helps other women cheat on their husbands and lie in therapy. The group chat exiled her. Her circle cracked. A vacuum opened. She'd spent 2 years building a double life. I unraveled it in 8 weeks. When she dropped the key off at my friend's condo, slid it under the door in a plain white envelope, she left nothing else. No note. No explanation. Just silence. She knew it was over. Not just the marriage. Not just the affair. But her script. The one she thought she could control. Cry through. Twist. I'd burned every page. Matt was jobless. Broke. His wife owned the house. The business. The narrative. Melanie was alone. Unemployed. Discredited. No one to cry to. No arms left to fall into. And me. I was free. She didn't show up to the final mediation. Her lawyer sat stiff, tight-lipped, sliding in signed forms across the table like they might explode. I signed them all in silence. No questions. No drama. The court clerk stamped the decree, clean, simple, uncontested. On paper, it ended in 15 minutes. In truth, it ended long before that. I left the building without looking back. Just the click of my shoes on tile and the soft shuffle of a man walking out from under a lie. That night, I boxed up the last of her things. Hair straightener, yoga mat, old college sweatshirt she hadn't worn in years. I didn't smell it. Didn't linger. Just packed and taped and labeled. Return to sender. I dropped it at her sister's house. No warning. No note. Just left it on the porch and drove away before anyone saw me. A week passed. Then 2. Melanie tried once more, an email. Short. Just 3 lines. I know I hurt you. I hate myself for it. I still think about us. I'm sorry. No subject line. No name signed. I didn't respond. Not because I was still angry, that faded. I didn't respond because there was nothing left to say. She had turned our marriage into a theater, and cast me as the fool. Built an affair on a foundation of silence, then planned to weaponize therapy and guilt when it all went to hell. What she never counted on was this. That I'd outwait her. Outwatch her. That I'd stop trying to fix her, and start fixing the truth. I heard from Matt's wife again. Just one message. He's selling the truck. Took a job in Ohio. Thank you. I didn't reply to her, either. Some stories don't need sequels. The condo's quiet now. Clean walls. No photos. Just space. I sleep with the windows open, the silence like oxygen. Sometimes I catch myself staring at the chair where she used to sit, legs tucked up, phone in hand, pretending she wasn't texting another man. I don't feel rage anymore. Or sadness. I feel distance. Like watching a house burn from across the street, one you used to live in but no longer call home. There's power in walking away without ashes on your hands. There's peace in watching liars choke on their own script. And there's clarity in knowing this. I didn't lose her. She lost me.